Harry,
Yes, sir.
how you doing?
Doing okay.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's good, man. I appreciate y'all having us on here. Me and
Hey,
Max are sitting there at the house tonight, getting ready for the show.
great. So, how you doing, Max?
Good,
Good. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
thank you. It's been hard.
I tell you what, I've watched this show for the past month, and I can't say enough good things about it. To be honest with you guys, you guys put on a fun show. It looks like every Friday night you guys usually do shows.
Yes, sir. Every Friday night in Osceola.
Okay. And it looks like, for the most part, I mean, I think the fans really enjoy the product you guys put on every week.
I'll tell you what differs our show from a lot of the other shows is it's a family show.
Yeah,
Down in the mix and stuff. The kids can get in there and play in the ring and stuff. It's a lot of hands on, with the fans, where they're in their face, signing autographs and hugging, the people, it's exciting for us.
absolutely. And I can tell when I watch it that, like you said, it's a family show. It's done very well. And also, I've noticed too, like you guys dedicate the show to whoever passed away, uh, usually during the show. And I think that's very classy and it's very nice as well. Um,
Yes, when it comes to the death part, it's a touchy thing,
oh, absolutely.
for anybody. Um, but somebody's got to do it at the end of the night when it comes that time, you know, there's got to be that person that takes care of that part,
Absolutely.
whether you like it or you don't, it's facts of life,
Hmm.
I thought they tackled it very tastefully and, the dedication, to these people, the memory lives on, people that never would have know them for a second, so, uh, I think it was done tastefully.
Absolutely. I think it's done really professionally, tastefully, and it's bringing professional wrestling back in a good light, in a positive way. Throughout all the shows. So I don't have children, but I'm assuming anyone that would say, yeah, you guys can watch this show, have fun. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's great. I think it's a great family show, and that's what professional wrestling needs nowadays. And I think some of the mainstream is kind of getting back towards that, but then I sometimes I look and I say, well, it's starting to drift away. I mean, I like what you guys do. You guys put on a fun wrestling show, and it doesn't have to be crazy or anything like goofy. It's just a good time, and I think that's great. Um,
Uh,
do you mind if I ask Max a question?
Max is all ears.
All
Right
right, man.
here.
What is it like being on television? What do you think? Do you like it?
It been fun.
Mm-hmm.
It been real.
Could I ask you too? Where did your name come from? How did you come up with that name?
Well, I had it ever since I was little. My dad came up with it, so we stick with it ever since.
Nice. Now, when you become a professional wrestler down the line, do you plan on using this name?
Yes.
Okay. Um, do you now? Here's a question.
Mm, I don't really know.
Well, if I could make a suggestion, I don't think you've ever seen the movie The Road Warrior or anything like that, but that's the character from The Road Warrior. With Mel Gibson played that in the '80s, called Mad Max. So maybe you could do something like The Road Warriors or something kind of in that kind of genre where you can come out with a big leather jacket and maybe some face paint or something, and go to town. I think that'd be cool.
We're definitely going to have to watch that movie now. I remember watching that kid too myself. So,
Hmm.
uh, right now, we're just doing the East Coast Bad Boy thing. He's right now in development stage where he's learning, he's absorbing, he's helping and understanding what's going on. And it's exciting for both of us, to be able to do that with your kid. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah.
the greatest part. That's the greatest part about the show. I did it with my son, and
Oh,
he's more of
absolutely.
a star than I am, and it's nice to, on Friday nights we go out, he comes out with his daddy, I'm kind of hanging out with him and just enjoying the life, right now. So it's nice, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and the best thing for Max is he's getting one heck of a great education here in the professional wrestling industry because you're getting everything. Watch as much as you can, absorb as much as you can. You're going to learn, and you'll probably be one of the best professional wrestlers in the business 10 years from now because you'll have that bond with your dad. You'll learn from your dad, and you'll be a part of that promotion right down there, and it'll be great for you, man. I can't wait to see you in the future. 5, 10 years down the line.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. But no pressure or anything. I don't want to put any pressure on you. But let me see what else I was going to ask. How did this all? I remember seeing a show where LaFon said this started 20 years ago. How did the whole concept come up with the WGN aspect of the show?
Here's what happened.
Okay.
Well, Fox, yeah, like you said, it's been 20 plus years.
Yeah.
He's been running NCW. I've been there for 15.
Mm-hmm.
There was some kids that used to come to wrestling, big fans, called the Duncan brothers.
Okay.
Well, they took and moved off and, to do the TV career,
Yeah.
And their dad, I believe, and don't hold me to it, but I
Okay.
believe their dad passed away.
Okay.
And when I went to the funeral, LaFonce had the funeral.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, ain't you the wrestling guys? And they were like, yeah. And so it was just something that was like, wow, that's so crazy. The funeral, the wrestling, let's go ahead and, see what we could pitch on it. And it really seemed like it was so slow but so fast, you know what I'm saying? We were
Absolutely.
sitting waiting ahead, and then it just went full speed, and it's been exciting, man. It's neat. We're just riding it. Me and Max just having some fun, man.
That's great. I mean, it puts you guys on the map, which is awesome. So, I mean, you guys will be household names very shortly, if not right now. Like I said, I really enjoy the program. I think it's genius too. It's a great idea. I mean, it shows you the mortuary business, but then it shows you the professional wrestling business, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoy watching Derek get put in some of those situations. I think that's pretty funny.
I'm gonna tell you, we love it. We pretty much just was the thorn in his side most of the time, and that's our everyday life. Derek really is what you see on TV. And he won't pull no punches when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This is just a day in the life of us, and it's crazy, and it's so amazing and awesome to be part of it. And,
it's great, I think, to see that.
like I'm from Massachusetts, I got friends from there, hey Harry, where we see you on TV, I ain't seen it in 20 years. So it's been overwhelming in times, doing the everyday life, and now everybody knows who you are,
Oh yeah.
It's a bit overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, that's me. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it's a big step in the right direction for you guys. It's fun, and they do it, like you said, tastefully. They're not there to make you guys, look a certain way or, make some kind of weird drama type show. It's great. It's just a nice family show, and you can see the genuineness in everyone, and it's just, I love it. I'm hooked. I mean, from day one, when I saw the best one was when Derek was scared to death. Someone was hiding under the cloth there, and they scared him. That was great. And then when Max was starving him out in the woods, that was fun too. I really enjoyed that episode where he got no food. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. You won't even give him a French fry or anything. He's just sitting out there freezing. That was great.
I'm picking on there because it's way fun.
It seems like it's a good time. I just recently watched the episode too where Miss Sandra was going to be a heel for the first time, and she felt really uncomfortable. And you could see that a little bit too. That's not in her nature, so to speak.
It was definitely a big discussion around the family,
Yeah.
Everybody was uncomfortable with it, when you go from heads to tails, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we do with it. Every day we try to push and do a little more and try a little something new. And, if you don't like it, you just say, no, I ain't doing it again,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try once, and then, lightning sometimes doesn't strike. It just doesn't work out. And hey, at least you said you did it. It wasn't the best for how you felt comfortable. It wasn't the best for you. So say it's okay to say no. It's okay to try it once, and that's it. That's fine. I uh I was watching Max too. I wanted to ask Max too. Who besides your father would be your favorite professional wrestler, Max?
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. Okay. Do you like his? What would you like about him? Like his high flying aspect, or like his mask?
I think it's pretty much because he's a high flyer.
Okay. Cool.
Because my dad's a high flyer too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. Your dad definitely puts on, from what I've seen on the program, puts on a great show. I did enjoy when he wrestled Miss Sandra too, when he was dressed as the lady. I thought that was a lot of fun. That was cool. So, if you don't mind me asking, Harry, too, how long have you been in professional wrestling?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been wrestling for about 17 years. So
wow. That's great.
It's crazy because as much as you do it, the years just fly by,
Yeah.
And you're a little sore and you're a little more banged up every day, but you're like, and you look back and you're like, well, 17 years, son, that would do it.
It definitely will. It takes there's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And my theory is, you know what, like, I've had more injuries, I think, than anyone else, just in general, like, as a human being. I mean, I've been through car wrecks and things, and it's been crazy. And, like, I've never even stepped foot in a ring, so I could not imagine, like, how it takes a toll on your body. But, yeah, after 17 years, you're not, at least my theory is this, too. Like, at least you were in the ring and enjoying what you love to do. And if you got injured, yeah, I can totally understand that. But at least you were in there doing it. There's a lot of people that, look from the stands and say, oh, I should do it. But you were in there, you did it, and and if you got hurt, but at least you did it. You know what I mean? Like, the injuries come and go, and sometimes they linger, but you were there, you were part of the show, and you enjoyed, and you did what you wanted to do, and I really admire that.
It takes a certain person, like you said, everybody thinks they could get in there and do it
Yeah.
all. That's fake, You got to condition your body. It's training your body against the thing it's ever known,
Mm-hmm.
And then you the wear and tear, It's crazy, I moved down to Kentucky with my brother, how the whole thing started. And he was a professional, his name is Charlie, so he was like, I'm wrestling. I was like, I'm going to wrestle with you. And he's like, oh, I trained up. He trained my other two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they never dared to get in there because they're not as people person as,
Yeah.
You got to be that person, And I was like, hey, I'm going to do it. Let's do it, So we ended up wrestling each other our my first four matches.
Oh, wow.
And then we tagged up from there. I never had butterflies. I never have been, because I love people. So to me, I'm like, hey, let's have fun. And, when I go out there, we're going to have a good time. I might get my butt pumped. I may leave and have to go to the hospital, but we're going to party. We're going to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it, So we started doing that. We moved down to Arkansas, started wrestling for Moondog Spot.
Okay.
And Gary Lawler is up doing Memphis TV, and I hooked up with LaFonce's daughter, who was together, it seems like forever. We had Max, and kind of just went our own separate ways, but it's crazy how it ties in, I'm from Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even from here, and here I am today, so I'm very proud of my son, proud of the show. It's done very tastefully, and like you said, if you only do something once, at least you can say you've done it. So
absolutely.
Very humble,
Well, that's great, and your life experiences, that's pretty awesome right there. You work, under Moondog Spot and Jerry Lawler. Does Jerry Lawler or Moondog Spot still have, like, that Memphis television? Is that still around? I really honestly don't know. I know they used...
Honestly, there's a few independent shows. They don't do the Memphis wrestling, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't really keep up on that so much. Now, Moondog Spot passed away.
Oh, okay.
Passed away about 10 years.
10 years, okay.
There's a lot of indie shows around here.
Yeah.
Uh, but not much TV wise, other than the big brands.
Yeah. And that's what I've noticed, like with the big brands. I feel like I was talking about this in another podcast with one of my other guests we had on the other night, and I was saying there needs to be another, I guess, rival to the World Wrestling Entertainment. There needs to be something that's focusing more on the athleticism and the professional wrestling aspect, instead of more the sports entertainment aspect or whatever they want to call it. I feel like that void is not filled yet, and I feel like a lot of these other semi, almost you could say international type companies aren't filling that void for fans. So I feel like there's still that rival that needs to rise up to contend with World Wrestling Entertainment isn't there. I'm a big NWA fan. Southern Wrestling, Memphis Wrestling, Bill Watts era, all that. I love all that stuff. So I'd like to see something like that come to the dance and show up. I really think that'd be great for wrestling and for the business. But I just, it's tough right now. I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, it's like that with anything. I mean, what would Coke be without Pepsi? You need
Absolutely.
competition and you need, uh, rivals and stuff. Same with
Hmm.
music. That's why they have all that stuff go on. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's cool. It'd be nice to have that just as a fan of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Uh, so I definitely agree with you on the point.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes like I'll watch some programming and I'll enjoy the wrestling, but I feel like we're still missing that main company. And I feel like the 80s really gave us some great wrestling and even further back as well. But the 80s and 90s for me, it's really going to be hard to compete with those 2 decades because I felt like that was some of the greatest wrestling of all time that came out of that. But yeah, like you said, there needs to be like, we got Pepsi here, we need a Coke. So hopefully we can have a company that'll, fill that void eventually over time. But it's going to be tough because I know that World Wrestling Entertainment has a lot of years ahead of, a new up and coming promotion. But stranger things have happened. Who knows? That company could fold in 2 years. Not to say it ever would, but I've seen almost everything in wrestling, so it wouldn't surprise me. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's just you never know. Like I really question the World Championship Wrestling buyout. I smelled a rat in that. I don't know all the specifics, but I remember seeing that what it was sold for, presumptually or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know. Something's off here. But um, I tell you what, like this Wrestling with Death, I think this is great. Hopefully this will be on DVD eventually too. I'd love to buy that. Um, Hopefully that'll come out with time here. Have you guys been approached possibly for like another season yet? Um,
Well,
it,
right now it's kind of early to determine that. I will tell you, our local area,
mhm.
radio communications was not carrying WGN,
Oh, okay.
but because of the large call volume starting in March, they're going to start that way. You'll be able to see it on rerun. That's not. But that's a big deal that they picked up the station just for one show. So
Wow.
we're excited about that. WGN is happy with the show, so we're happy with that. So we really don't know where it sits, but we're excited about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's still early. I hope someday to get us a little action figure. It'd be neat.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's you guys. The sky's the limit with everything with you guys. Merchandise wise, there's so much they could do. T-shirts and everything. I mean, I definitely see like from a fan standpoint, just watching the show. I want season 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll tell you right now, I really enjoy it. It's a great program.
I'll tell you, it's crazy even, watching ourselves on TV, but watching the show, every time we're like, man, it's been an hour already.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we hope that the fans, of the show and of wrestling, I hope that they have that feeling too and look forward to watching them. We'll
Absolutely.
keep them coming.
Were you guys ever on as like a special or anything else on television? Because I remember back, it was like either in October or November last year, 2014, that someone was mentioning this show, but I actually never found what network it was on or anything like that. Have you guys ever filmed this before for something like a special or anything?
What we did is when they first come in, filmed what they call a pilot.
Okay.
Uh, just kind of shoot something to bring back visually and show what product they had. It was originally, I think we tried to sell it to AMC,
Okay.
AMC, and they didn't bite on it. So a couple of weeks later, they called and said, "Congratulations, we sold it." WGN. So, like I said, it happened so slow,
Yeah.
but so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was like the pilot, and between the pilot and the deal was like a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're kind of waiting in limbo there.
Yeah, it was like eight months, 9 months. You know what I'm saying? And never heard. You know, it's just kind of. I don't know. It just seemed like it was so slow, and then it was just like, here we go, let's go, here we, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I said, it's awesome and overwhelming at times. So
Yeah, it gets to be probably a little much. That was a question I had for for you guys as well. Is it a long day when you film? I would assume it would be. Do they follow you, every day? Is it like twice a week they film all this? Do you know how that works by any chance?
um, it was weird. It seemed like they was there 24/7.
Okay.
And with the amount of stuff that they shot and what they show in a 30-minute clip, you know, they had hours and hours and hours and hours
Oh yeah.
of everything we did. So I mean, if people think it's fake and stuff, oh, it can't be like that. Derek can't be that soft, you know.
Mhm.
I actually go over to Jamie's house all the time to fix his stuff. That is truth. I painted the whole house
Oh wow.
before I moved in there. I burnt all that stuff in the yard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People think it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
People think that, you know, all these ideas about the show, but really, it's our crazy life, man. It really is. It's really crazy. It's got all the turmoil of any other family, but it's just, I mean, at the end of the night, you know, it's what it is, you know. And you get up the next day and you rock it out, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see it's like a genuine, version of your family and the life experiences that you guys, have. Of course, there's some editing and things like that for time, but yeah, I never got the vibe that this was, scripted and fake or anything like that. No, it looks pretty genuine. Some other programs, on television, you can tell, well, yeah, they definitely scripted that, but no, this seems to be the real deal, and that's what's gonna, I think, make you guys have another season after that. I think, you know, you'll just continue because I think people will like the realism of it, something they can relate to or enjoy. And I think the sky's the limit. Hopefully you guys get, some T-shirts made, action figures, a pay-per-view or something. I think that'd be great.
I'm shooting for all that too.
Yeah, man, get as much as you can, man. Just spread your wings and fly when it comes to this point, because this is the rocket fuel for you guys right here.
Yep, I'm on the ride, man. Me and Max, we sit and we'll talk about little things like he got picked up at school and he had a bunch of sixth graders taking pictures with him and stuff from the school.
That's
He
nice.
actually just moved to a new school over the summer, so
Okay.
it's kind of neat that he picks up where he left off here, you know.
Oh yeah,
So it's neat, man. It's crazy, man. It's,
it is.
that's all I can say. It's definitely insane, and the family's insane, and you love each one of them, but they're all insane.
It's great to watch. I enjoy it. I enjoy watching everything. Max, I think you're going to have a great career ahead of you with your dad. Coaching you, training you, teaching you the business. You got LaFonce there. Everybody will help you, and I think eventually you'll have this, fame from this show to carry on to help your career. So I mean, the sky's the limit for you, bud. You got it, man. I mean, in my opinion, you're already a star. I mean, you made it. So right off the bat, I think it's great.
Thank you.
No problem, man. Like this is, I think a lot of people your age, can look at you as a role model. So it's good that you're, presented in a really professional manner, and you look like and act like an adult. And you have fun too. I know you harass, everybody on the show. It's great. But, you know, this is just a great step for you, buddy. So, like, go to school, get your education, and then always have the wrestling there. And then once you're ready to train and get the thing rocking and rolling, man, you're going to have a great career. It's going to happen. I mean, I see it already, bud.
Yeah, I've been learning a bunch of stuff about the wrestling business and stuff.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I remember when I was your age, I'd watch, wrestling and um, I'd watch like Hulk Hogan and all those guys and really enjoy it. But you're there live. There's nothing better than that. Like you can be, with your dad, and you can see him wrestle and learn with him. That's excellent. So I'm expecting to see big things from you. But once again, no pressure. No pressure at all. But
Yeah, we'll keep them as goals right now.
well, yeah, I think this is great. Now this show airs on WGN on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. I believe. Um,
It's 9 o'clock our time.
9 o'clock your time. Okay, great. So I would definitely, I tell everybody check it out because it's a great show. It's a lot of fun. I'm hooked on it. Just from episode one, I was hooked. I enjoyed it a lot. My friends are getting hooked on it. I'm telling everybody I see. So it's great. It's just great to have something else on television besides, World Wrestling Entertainment, total nonstop action wrestling, and that Ring of Honor. It's just nice to see something different because after a while it gets a little stagnant and you want to, this is a great way with this show that you guys have to freshen everything up a little bit. And I think it's great. And it's really like almost like the first reality type of show with wrestling. Besides, there's been a lot of competition type shows, but this is like the first I would think major successful one where it's a reality show and it's about wrestlers. I think that you guys hit the home run. So that's you guys can take. No one can ever take that away from you.
We're definitely hoping that we're excited about it. People around here are excited about it. Like you said, we're putting OCO on the map.
Definitely.
We're excited and good for the community. I mean, it's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of fun for everybody, and we're gonna ride on and ride it as long as we can.
Absolutely. Do as much as you can when you can, and ride it off, and wrestling fans, what's interesting about wrestling fans, I've noticed just by observing, they never forget. So even though, you say you guys have this show on for a long time, and then it does end, they're not going to forget you guys. Like wrestling fans remember. So don't feel like, if something happens where the show, which I pray it doesn't, it stops production or whatever, they won't forget you. Like you guys have already cemented one piece of wrestling history by having this television show. So I know I won't forget. I remember ridiculous facts about wrestling from the 80s or whatever. So yeah, you guys, in my opinion, have made it to the dance. This is great, and I think this, it's only up for you guys. So
Well, we appreciate that, buddy.
no problem, man. I'm glad to watch it, and I tell everybody, please watch Wrestling with Death. And then they look at me like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, let me explain. But it's a great show.
That's normally the first thing. They're like wrestling with death, and they're like, "Oh, what's it on? What's it about?" Then
Yeah.
once you break it down, they're like, "Oh, wow, man, I'm gonna have to check that out."
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's so unique, and it's really it's fun because it's like two shows in one. You watch the mortuary aspect for a while, and then you go watch the wrestling aspect, and they tie it in. It's great. I think it's a genius idea, um, and thank God that WGN picked this up because we're privileged to have your show on and watch it. And like you said, your area demanded WGN to to be they demanded for this show, and they demanded for WGN to be televised where you guys are at. So that's great. That's a step in the right direction right there. So hopefully they can get WGN spread out more, and you guys can just ride this off as much as you can. Really, this is great.
Yes, sir. I'm like I said, we're just holding on. We're gonna have
Absolutely.
some fun. No matter what, we have a good time. We've had a good time with this whole experience. Uh, we have a good time with the people, whether we know them or we don't, wherever we're at.
Hmm.
Kind of getting crazy like that. And we love it. The people say, "Hey, thanks for taking a picture with." To me, thank you for taking a picture with me because without y'all, we ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Without the people, we have no reason to wrestle other than two dudes wanting to walk up and beat up on each other.
Yeah.
Without fans and without the people, we're nothing. And that's very important to me and Max. I mean, we go out and we hug and kiss and squeeze and dance and do whatever's going on, we're doing it, you know.
Yeah,
Because we want the people to know that we're there for them. Because if you're not, then people ain't gonna come, you know. So
absolutely. And that's a good standard, and it's a good set of morals to have because I feel like a lot of these wrestlers either they're really staying in character or they just they're almost like they just forget who they where they came from, who they were before they made it on television or to a certain company. They look at the fans and they laugh at their opinions, but I'm like, well, you could a lot of these guys could say this and that on the internet or on a phone interview or whatever, but at the end of the day, like you said, the fans are the ones that make you, who buy the tickets, who show up, and the merchandise, and demand for your television show to be brought to their TV sets every day. So I mean, that says it all right there, and that's a great it's a great way to be, and I think every wrestler should be that way, and unfortunately, not everybody is, but I'm glad that you guys are.
well, I mean, it's something that when you're coming up in the business, you'd wrestle in front of two people
Oh
if
yeah.
if you could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You would go and work as hard as you would any other time for 10 people. You know what I'm saying? So when you realize that these people are giving you an outlet to be able to do what you love doing, would be doing it in your closet or in your carport, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, like hey, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it anywhere and everywhere I can. But when it comes down to the people being there supporting you and watching you and helping you out, but this connection that you get with the fans, that's when you really realize that if they're not there, you're just in your garage or at the training building. Once the people are there, it's like a drug,
Yep.
and you just learn to appreciate them, and you learn to, every time I go out there, I want to make sure the fans get their money's worth in just my match. Not that the other matches I'm not going to do, but that's my mindset. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to do whatever. Let's do it. And I think that's what differs our show from other shows. We're
Hmm.
very close to people. We know most of them by name. You know what I'm saying? We help the kids, and we know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
Yep.
just, that's how we are. Intermission, we're out there, we're up in the stands and laughing and cutting up. Whether you're 2 or 200, it don't matter to me.
And that's great. That's the way it should be. I really think it is. I think that's the way wrestlers should be with fans, just enjoying it. I tell you, Max, man, you got a great father to learn from. And it looks like you have a great family that'll help you be a great professional wrestler for the future. So the world's yours, bud. Great.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to get used to the ring now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in there in a couple of spots.
Good. Well, I really thank you guys for being a part of the show today.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you too, bud.